y'all, it's me Alex. Today I'm going to be doing an entire video on basically all the eyeshadow I have bought recently and how I feel about all of it. Because I bought a lot and I've intended to make some videos on each grouping of things specifically, but I never did. I tried filming at least a couple videos. I had to scrap some of that footage, and so after getting frustrated, I just kind of decided, well, it might be a good idea if I just do it all in one video. So I've bought a bunch of palettes. I also have some single eyeshadows that I can talk about. I've still bought more eyeshadow. I just haven't had a chance to test it out yet because it either hasn't come yet or I need to get through this stuff first. You can also let me know which ones that you would like to see 3 looks from. I'm trying to be more efficient with that as well, but unfortunately at least 2 of the 3 looks ones that I've done recently were things that I had to scrap. Anyway, I think that is enough for an introduction because we're just going to be talking about eyeshadow and how I feel about it. Let's get into it. First, I will begin because I got a couple of palettes from Huda Beauty after I tried her Sapphire Obsessions palette. I was like, okay, these little mini monochromatic palettes are pretty great. So first, I'm going to talk about the Neon Pink Obsessions. I was very interested in this one because it seemed to have a very different shadow formula than some of her others, and one of the things that I really appreciate about the way Huda Beauty makes shadows is shimmers aren't just shimmers. There are various kinds of textures to her shimmers. There's more metallics, there's more chunky ones, there's ones that are more toppers, and I really like that. It's kind of like how I like that there's a variety of melt shimmers as well. I really realized that I don't own a lot of pinkety pink eyeshadows aside from what comes in the ABH and Alyssa Edwards palette that I have. And so I really wanted something bright and vivid and fun for summer, so I decided to buy this. It's not for everyone, but I personally really like it. So obviously some of the shades up top are a little bit more pastel. Some of them are actually purple, which if you've seen me for any length of time, I love a purple eyeshadow. I think purple is very flattering and really nice. I know that this isn't technically eye safe, but I don't have sensitive eyes, so I don't care. If you do have sensitive eyes, don't get this. But like I said, I don't care. The mattes in this are very good quality. They're very pigmented, easy to blend, easy to build up. Huda Beauty makes good mattes, but they're not her shining stars. To me, her shining star is the shimmers. And I think the shimmers in this palette are very unique. So the purple and the pink here are very bright. They very definitely, if you use your finger and some glitter glue, they will match what you see in the pan. Whereas the top and the bottom here are more topper shades, which to me is actually pretty cool because I think that since they're kind of duochromy, they have so much depth and dimension to them that I can layer it over other shadows. Like if I wanted to do a cut crease with just a wash of the lighter shade on my lid, that also looks really good. So I am very happy with this palette. Like I said, it's not necessarily for everybody, but it's something that I've really come to appreciate. And I don't think it's something that I would have liked at the beginning of my makeup journey when I just wanted something very pigmented that just kind of looked like what it was in the pan when you put it on your eyes. But I've sort of come to appreciate shadows that kind of do more than just that, and I think this really does that. I also keep flashing y'all with a mirror. So let's talk about the other Huda Beauty palette that I got. I have the Amethyst Obsessions, which is the purple one. Like I said, I love purple eyeshadows. I think that this is a very good standard purple palette. If you are looking to try purple shadows and you don't want to go with something as, I would say, vivid as the Menagerie Cosmetics Violet Ink, or you want something a little bit more warm toned than that, this is a really good palette for you. It's not my favorite purple palette by any means, but I feel like I get a whole lot of different looks out of it. But obviously you can see that the Violet Ink is a lot more cool tone, whereas the Huda Beauty is a lot more reddy pinky, which isn't necessarily bad because I like having a wide variety of purple shadows. So I think this all kind of boils down to your preference. The formula in this one is very similar to the Sapphire Obsessions palette that I have, which I obviously expected. I don't think there are any particular dud shades, and I think that this is a palette that, yes, obviously all of the looks that you get from this are going to be purple, but maybe it's because I am such a purple lover, but when I look at different shades of purple, I can see so much that I can do that to me this kind of looks like something with endless variety in it, even though it's monochromatic. So I do quite appreciate it, and it is a very solid and good purple palette. Okay, let's go to something that I won't go into a good review. So I've filmed with this one, but then had to scrap the footage. I was gonna still post it even though I ended up hating this palette, but now I also feel kind of bad, so I'm just gonna include it in a roundup. This is the Alien Cosmetics Dreamy Quad. I got these because I saw Amy Loves Makeup talk about them in one of her like indie makeup releases videos, and I thought it was pretty cute, and I've always wanted to try something from Alien Cosmetics. I'm not intending to try anything more from Alien Cosmetics because this was not good at all. The shades Wish and Dreamy, the two pastel shades, they don't work. You expect even from swatches that they would look pretty true to color, but once you apply them on the eyes, even when you build it up, Dreamy basically looks like, it almost looks white when you apply it, and Wish basically looks gray. So those two shades are out. I'm not a huge pastel person, but I definitely have those pastel shades in palettes that perform better, like the Shroud Cosmetics Could Be Cute, for example. So those are a no-go. The shade Float, it's pretty solid. It's fine. Like, it is a blue shadow that performs like a pigmented blue shadow. So I think that is, like, pretty good. And I actually really like the shade Wink here. I think that their shimmer shades, they should focus a little bit more on those because those are quite good. They kind of remind me of the shimmers in the Midas Cosmetics palettes. So let me just swatch that because it is a really pretty like blurple shimmer. So I think that is absolutely beautiful. It's just kind of the mattes in it that really suck. Like obviously, like I said, the blue one isn't actually that bad. Like it works, it does its job. I really wish that I could be able to use this in conjunction with these two in a way that's better. I really want them to work on their formula for their mattes a lot more, so that way I can actually enjoy a color scheme like this. But for now, I'm just going to be using the metallic shade. Okay, this one I also filmed a 3 Lux 1 palette with, and also lost that footage. NYX Ultimate Utopia Shadow Palette. This is one that I am super impressed with. I know that not everyone loves NYX shadows, but I'm one of the ones that loves NYX shadows. NYX eyeshadows, I think, are always like, are they the greatest? Like, are they Anastasia or Melt or like Menagerie or whatever? No. But they're probably my favorite drugstore eyeshadow formula out there. This is what that palette looks like. I was very attracted to this. This was something that I impulse bought when I was having a bad pain day. And so I got this because I have actually been wanting to try more pinky peachy neutrals recently, but I never knew if like a monochromatic peach palette would actually be super flattering on me, and this really is. And I like that there's this really good juxtaposition between like the pinky peachy neutrals and some very deep earthy tones and some also very nice metallics. Some of the shades kind of remind me of what comes in the ColourPop Good Sport palette. I think the Good Sport palette leads a little bit more warm than this one, but if you're interested in some of like the greens and the grungier tones of this one and weren't able to get your hands on it, the NYX Ultimate Utopia palette is actually super great. I really wish people would stop sleeping on NYX shadows. They're really good. A lot of people just, I think it's one of those things where it's stigmatized because it's a drugstore palette, and obviously NYX has been like raising their prices, which I get. It sucks. It's not fun. But that does not negate the quality of this, and when I was doing my 3 looks, I was able to get such a variety of looks with all the shades. You can get something very contrasty, you can get something very monochromatic, you can get something really light, you can get something really dark, you can get something smoky, you can get something like glam and cut creasy. You can do just about anything with this, and this kind of makes a neutral palette fun. The shadows just perform so well and blend so nicely. This is amazing. I wish more people would talk about this. I think I'm gonna like try and refilm the video that I did with this basically just so y'all can see the actual performance of these shadows because holy shit, they're amazing. Okay, let's talk about what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. I just filmed a Get Ready With Me using this. This is the Nabla Cutie palette in Wild Berry. Y'all know I love me some berry shadows. I said this in my Get Ready With Me, but I'm very lucky that Nabla doesn't make more colorful palettes. Otherwise my wallet would be in deep, deep danger because I love their formula. Their mattes just blend so nicely together. Like I used just about all the shades from this palette except for Incense in it when I did this look, and it is just fantastic. I love their mattes. I think their shimmers have so much dimension to them, kind of in the same way that I really like Huda Beauty's shimmers. There's just so much depth and so much that you can do with this, and like I know that this is a small 6-pan palette, but you can get a lot of looks out of this. and the shadows are so pigmented but also so blendable, and usually in eyeshadow it's either one or the other. Usually it's pigmented or it's blendable, and this Nabla just does it so well that you really don't have to sacrifice one for the other. And I'm just obsessed with these colors. I think they go so well together, and it's kind of how I feel about like the Huda Beauty monochromatic palettes, is that yes, this is all one color scheme, but you can see really the variety of looks that you can get out of this. I might do a whole video on monochromatic palettes that you can get a lot of different kinds of looks out of. I don't know what I would title that, but I have a lot of palettes like that because that's really what I'm attracted to generally. So this is just so gorgeous. The only thing that I do have to say, that you do have to build up Venom just a little bit of that berry matte shade, but I don't think that it's anything that is problematic when you actually apply it. So it just takes a little bit more building up than one would anticipate, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because it does build up on itself. So that's my thoughts on that. Now we're coming down the home stretch. I think I'm running out of footage on my camera. So let me just go ahead with my single shadows. So got a bunch of shades from Looksy Beauty. The majority of them are like this bottom row here, and then like these two rows. Yeah, these two rows coming up. So I actually filmed a first impressions with these, but then ended up scrapping it. Surprise, surprise, that's how we've gotten here. So these are all of the eyeshadows that I meant to talk about in other videos, but never did. So I meant to go forward with that video, but then I heard about Looksy Beauty kind of being a little bit shady with a smaller influencer. I will defer to Panda Replay's Project Pencil challenge because she talked a bit about this when talking about Looksy. And so I got these for really cheap. I was just excited to try more single eyeshadows. They were like $3 a piece. And I think the shadows are fine. They're not my favorite formula in the world. They work really well, and I will continue to use them, but I definitely feel a bit iffy about really promoting them on my channel. Some of the shades I did struggle a little bit with, not because they're not pigmented, but more because like they're squishy.
I shall call him Squishy, and he shall be mine, and he shall be my Squishy.
Like some of the lighter shades here are squishy. Like you stick your brush in and you expect it to just kind of like be a normal shimmer shadow, and then you're just like, ooh. I've used a shadow once and I ended up making a huge dent in the middle. That just surprised me a lot. So I feel like the squishier shades are more easily damaged. Like I said, I genuinely like the formula. I just feel iffy about supporting them as a company right now, just because it doesn't feel right now. But the shades are lovely, so I did want to mention that I did end up trying them because I think I mentioned that I bought them in another video, and I did want to follow up on that. But that's kind of all my feels about them. I filmed first impressions. I've played around with them. They're fine, but I want to venture into other single eyeshadows like the ones from JD Glow. They're Galaxy shadows, which I've played around with a lot more, and I've actually, let me just show them to y'all because I did mention them in a favorites video, but these two right here, which is Opal, and I forget this one, but I really like it. Oh no. And Insane. I think these are much better shimmer shadows in my opinion, and JD Glow is a brand that I am actually a lot more like, whoo, yay, I can support them. Like definitely the Looksy shadows are more of a metallic finish, whereas the Galaxy ones are more like glitter, glitter, glitter. So there's kind of that difference. But other than that, I'm a lot more excited about the JD Glow shadows, and once they do a restock, I'm going to be buying a whole lot more. I do have other eyeshadow that I will end up needing to talk about once it comes in the mail, but hopefully this will have caught me up enough that I can just get on the road with those. I am going to try and film a 3 looks on palette with the NYX Ultimate Utopia palette. I think I'm going to use one of the Huda Beauty palettes in one of my Animal Crossing tutorials, which I will be getting back on very soon. Like I said, I just wanted to catch up with a lot of the eyeshadows I bought recently. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos from me, you should subscribe down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!